And welcome, Hoosier fans, to another edition of Banner Morning, recorded on Wednesday, August 22nd, 2018. I'm Jerod Morris, and we are now 38 days away from Hoosier hysteria. In schedule news, Indiana released its full 2018-19 schedule yesterday in conjunction with the Big Ten Conference's release of the full 20-game Big Ten schedule. To see the complete IU schedule, type in the URL assemblycall.com/IU schedule, and it will redirect you to the schedule page on the IUHoosiers.com website. After a bit of time to digest it and listening to Zach Osterman and Chronic Hoosier break it down on their Mind Your Banners reaction episode, here are 6 new observations on the schedule in addition to the ones I've made on recent editions of Banner Morning. Observation number 1. Indiana only has one exhibition game scheduled this season against Southern Illinois on November 1st. In recent seasons, the Hoosiers have played 2 exhibition games. As Alex Bozich noted on Twitter, this does leave open the possibility that Indiana could participate in a secret scrimmage during the full month between Hoosier hysteria and that one exhibition game. We will do our best to find a way to produce a post-game show for any potential secret scrimmages, but I'm not optimistic about our chances. Observation number 2, there is a massive, and I mean massive, gap in the schedule around the holidays. Indiana plays Jacksonville on December 22nd and then does not play again until a January 3rd home game against Illinois. I like this for several reasons. It allows the coaches and players to spend Christmas at home and not have to play on New Year's Eve. It's a nice stretch without games for any injured or banged up players to get healthy before Big Ten play, and it reduces the number of games played at Simon Skjodt Assembly Hall without the students, which are always lacking in atmosphere. Observation number 3. Indiana better use that aforementioned break wisely because the beginning of conference play is a gauntlet. After hosting Illinois on the 3rd, which promises to be an improved, albeit still likely lower-tier Big Ten team this season, Indiana faces the following stretch from January 6th through February 2nd. At Michigan, at Maryland, Nebraska at home, at Purdue, at Northwestern, Michigan at home, at Rutgers, at Michigan State. That's 6 out of 8 games on the road, 3 of which are against the Big Ten's 3 best teams over the last few seasons. And even the 2 home games are against teams that finished in the upper half of the conference last year and figure to do the same this year as well. Indiana will need to navigate that stretch well to have a shot at competing for a conference title down the stretch. On the flip side, Indiana does finish with 6 out of its final 9 games at home. So if the Hoosiers are in contention for a Big Ten title, few teams will have a more favorable home stretch in February and March. Observation number 4. Indiana's first 6 conference games are all on different days of the week, with only Wednesday not represented, though a Wednesday game does come later in the schedule. Here's the breakdown of the number of Big Ten games by day of the week. Monday, 1 game. Tuesday, 4 games. Wednesday, 1 game. Thursday, 3 games. Friday, 3 games. Saturday, 5 games. And Sunday, 3 games. Clearly, we all need to get used to no weeknights or weekend days being safe from IU games as TV continues to exert more and more control over the Big Ten schedule. Observation number 5. Last season, Indiana had a number of challenging one-day turnarounds, often with a road game following a home game. This was in part due to the Big Ten tournament being moved up a week and in part due to just bad scheduling luck. This season, Indiana has no one-day turnarounds on the schedule. Here is the breakdown of turnaround days. 2-day turnarounds, 10. 3-day turnarounds, 2. 4-day turnarounds, 5. And 5-day turnarounds, 1. Observation number 6, Indiana's final Big Ten game of the season is home against Rutgers. So if Indiana ends up needing one win at the end of the season to secure a Big Ten title or to ensure a more favorable seed in the Big Ten tournament, the schedule couldn't have set up better. And in attendance news, as summarized by Inside the Hall, according to recently published numbers by the NCAA, Indiana finished 10th nationally in average attendance last season at 15,590 fans per game. That was down from the previous season when Indiana averaged 16,364 fans per game, which was good for 9th nationally. On the one hand, these numbers feel disappointing. On the other hand, Indiana has barely been mediocre the last 2 seasons, so it's somewhat impressive to still be top 10 in attendance, despite 2 straight seasons spent well outside sniffing distance of an NCAA tournament berth. It's been a steady decline for Indiana since the 2012-2013 season, when the Hoosiers finished 5th nationally with an average of 17,412 fans per game. Time to start winning consistently again and fill all of those seats in Simon Skjodt Assembly Hall. For the record, Wisconsin was tops in the Big Ten last season at 17,272 fans per game. Thank you for listening to this edition of Banner Morning. I know this is now the second straight day I said I wouldn't be doing a new episode of Banner Morning and still delivered one, but my wife had to do some work on Tuesday night before we left for vacation, so I packed quickly and used my time wisely. There will definitely be no more Banner Mornings the rest of this week, certainly not tomorrow, but Assembly Call Radio will go on as scheduled on Thursday evening. You can watch live on our YouTube channel or listen to the podcast, which will be posted late Thursday evening. Andy, Ryan, and Coach Tonsoni will be dissecting the schedule and answering your questions. I will be back with a new edition of Banner Morning on Monday, August 27th. Until then, keep your elbows in and your eyes on the rim, and go Hoosiers.